Joining us via the power of Skype, we have the man himself, Mr. Mike Davis, possibly the first person to ever fight in space. Mike, thank you for joining the show. Thank you for joining B Cut. How you been, man?
I'm doing amazing. Out of everything that's going on with my life right now, it's really good. Despite the hand and the shoulder, but
yeah, I was gonna say that you're about to turn into the Bionic Man over there. You got pins and needles coming in places, but you said you're pretty close to getting that cast off, correct?
Yeah. So this will probably, hopefully, come off tomorrow. They'll put me in something that's removable, so I can start moving my hand around, and then this they said should be 100%. By the way I'm healing and the strength, I was just in therapy. They said by the strength that I'm providing and the output and the range of motion that I'll be honestly back to normal in, they said like 2 to 3 more weeks.
That's great.
They said it'll probably be full strength in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, we love watching fight.
I had a bicep, labrum, and rotator cuff tear.
I mean, that was a grueling fight of the month. So, I mean, a couple of days ago, you put on your story that when we want to talk about, that you passed your second test of being able to maybe go to a trip
to the moon
and back, and that you passed the second round of eliminations or something like that. How did you get into it?
It was like an application, and I'd finished my second processing.
So let's back up. First of all, that's incredible. But how did you get involved? How did you hear about this? Did you petition this on your own to say, hey, I want to go to the moon? Like what was kind of the process?
I follow a lot of the stuff Elon Musk does, because the man, he's a self-made billionaire. And of course I want to follow in, or at least know what people in that situation, in that financial like bubble, I want to know how they're living and what they're doing. So he did post about a thing that he was assisting, I forget his name, the Japanese billionaire, to create a ship to go around the moon. It's not going to land. It's going to go 3 days. It only takes 3 days to get up there, a day around the moon to the backside, which means it'll be the farthest passenger ship ever to leave Earth and then come back down in 3 days.
Well, and I don't know if you know, if you've done your research on the distance to the moon, that's about 240,000 to 260,000 miles and then back. So you're going to be traveling about 500,000, 600,000 miles.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
so, I didn't know that. So that's incredible.
How many people?
The chance of being picked is insanely slim, but I mean, anything can happen. And if it does, I promise I'm gonna make this worth it.
Are you gonna document for us? You're gonna document the journey for us?
I will document. I will show techniques while I'm on the ship. I'm gonna do everything I can.
0G techniques, maybe.
There you go. Well, that's what I was going to ask. I mean, obviously, I'm assuming you're not just going to go on this trip and not partake in your training. And obviously, I'm sure it's going to be a little bit different with some protocols that they'll have, and obviously being in the actual spaceship. But are you going to be able to take a GoPro if you do get chosen?
I'll bring my phone at minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, so this can do pretty much everything I need.
True. That's true. We got handheld now. It doesn't matter.
I was thinking, for this trip, you're going to have to go through some intensive training. You're going to have the cardio and whatnot. So I feel like that right there will eliminate 2/3 of the applicants.
You've done some intensive training in your day. Me and Blake watched the Tiger Muay Thai documentary. It's got like 2 million views. Have you watched that documentary about your time in Thailand?
Yeah, I watched that whole thing, start to finish. One day when I was just sitting around.
And the thing is,
that's an experience. I love that.
Yeah, the thing is, you won. You won.
Oh yeah.
Were you the only UFC fighter there?
I just got into the UFC, and when I applied, I was not in the UFC yet.
Okay. How was that 3 days? Like, that looks like on camera, that looks very intense, like very grueling. They don't show where you sleep. They don't show any of the details like that, but then they just show you going to work every single day, and how you especially.
So we train you train twice a day. They put you in, I don't know, it's like a studio kind of room. Simple. No like stove or anything though.
Was it hard for you?
It's on the street. No, it's on the street. So you're not traveling much. You can walk to the gym every day. Then they have you come in the morning. They give you like 4 hours of break to eat and try to rest or do whatever you want, and then come back and train again.
So more intensive than maybe they made it look.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Especially because of the minimal amount of rest we got in between. But I feel like I do that here.
That's what I was curious about, is in between, obviously they showed majority of your guys' actual activity. In between there, did you guys have much leisure time to get to explore good old fuck it Thailand? Or, how did you guys get to kind of explore outside at all or enjoy anything?
Yeah. The people that I met there, Donnie Bush is a pro fighter and he lives down here and he was out there. I didn't know that he was out there and I bumped into him. I was like, oh snap. So we met at the airport and we started like coordinating so we can do some stuff. We got mopeds, cost $25 US dollars to get a moped for, I believe, half a month. And to fill it with gas, it lasts all week and it's $5.
Ain't bad.
So for like $50, $50, you got a moped for a month. And the mopeds are more of a vehicle than the cars there. You do a moped, go anywhere. You see so many mopeds, like thousands of mopeds.
And since you won, you got basically a free year at Tiger Muay Thai and you get all the stuff paid for you. Did you take that?
I couldn't. It was the fact that I have a life here in the States. So I have to pay my rent. I have to pay my car payments and my insurance. And I didn't want to stay in Thailand for a year while still paying that and not being able, like, I'm paying for nothing.
Did you know that before? If you won, that you wouldn't be able to stay?
I didn't think I was going to win.
Really?
Yeah, it was like spur of the moment. I was like, awesome, let's go try this out. I watched the 2018 tryouts on the flight, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to win this. Look at these people. And I go, and it was kind of just like normal training to me.
Yeah.
It was literally like normal training.
At what point during the competition did you realize, hey, I've got a shot to be one of the winners? Or did you not know until they actually called you?
The cardio, because the first thing we did was they tested our cardio and strength and conditioning, and my cardio was not as good as the people who live there already. So they're already used to the heat and everything, and I was just still trying to get used to it. So I see them like doing everything super easy, and I was like, damn, it's kind of hard to breathe. So I was trying, and I was like, oh man, okay, so maybe they're a little better shape than I am. And then we got to like the training aspect and instantly knew that there's nobody as good as me. And I didn't mean that to sound like arrogant or anything, but I just looked around while we were kind of sitting around. I watched other people hit pads, watched people wrestle, and there's some wrestlers that were good, but like an overall fighter, there's no one there.
Yeah, I mean, because in the actual video that with the 2 million views, they said if there was one standout, I mean, it was Mike Davis, regardless. So let's talk about that career so far to this point. I mean, you're 9-2. You've got 8 finishes on your record. I think you're one of the most exciting fighters in the UFC. Do you think you're one of the most exciting fighters?
By far. I bring it every fight. You can see every fight I've had under the UFC banner has been one that's worth watching. The Thomas Gifford one's worth watching, even though it was one-sided. It's still like it's entertaining. It's a fun fight to watch, even in my eyes. And it was bad. Like it's bad, him. I guess. For him, yeah, it was bad for him. But it's an entertaining fight. The movements, that was pushing, the grappling, everything was good.
That was one of the things that I noticed from watching you was, there's a lot of different styles of fighters, and I'm not really sure how proficient, like, I guess, where does your wrestling background come from, or if there is any, or did it just kind of come spur of the moment? Because when I watched you fight, do what?
Yeah. No, keep going.
Oh, I was gonna say, when I watch you fight, what I noticed right off the bat was you connect 7 different moves together, like bam, 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 bam. You're not really just like a power puncher and then you kind of wait for a minute and then try to do something else. You're going combo, knee to the body, look for a takedown, coming back with a combo, then a jab, then another knee, then a spinning back kick, then a like you put so many moves together, and honestly, it looks so fluid. I guess what I would consider you is a true mixed martial artist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where does that fluidity come from? Has that always been a part of your game, or is that something you had to learn from?
I started with boxing, so I'm really good at boxing. As they say, in every one of my fights is one of the main points that I boxed with Kevin Rooney for years and years, so long, and that's where my boxing comes from. Then I went into wrestling simultaneously. So at the beginning of my career, I was terrified to strike. I don't know why, especially since I started boxing, I didn't want to get hit. So every fight I would just wrestle. I would submit you. I would wrestle and submit. If you look at my amateur career, it's like 6 submissions and 2 finishes or something like that. I don't know, but it's all grappling. Then I turned pro, and because I was doing so much boxing sparring when I got to Florida, I'm not afraid to get hit anymore. So I started striking. Then I was still a little nervous to strike, but I was getting it down. The more the sparring and boxing, that's where it got my fluidity, because I sparred tough people who are undefeated in boxing. They're like 18-0, 19-0, 22-0. And these are the people that I spar all the time. So I started getting really good at countering, really good at moving, and then finding openings or creating openings. And that's how I moved it to mixed martial arts, where now I don't just throw a combination. I'm not used to someone doing like 1, 2, 3 or 2, 3, 2 or calling out numbers. I'm used to punching where my fist can go. So I find pockets and I just point my fist there. It doesn't matter how it gets there. I just know that's where it got it.
Yeah.
You're Kapoor.
So it looks fluid, and it's not like, what is it? It's not practiced. It's just something that I've developed. I've developed a very good sense of where to go.
It's calculated.
Yeah.
I like it.
Because there's a combination someone brought up. The one I knocked Mason Jones' mouthpiece out. I went, what was it? It was a 2 hook to the body, paused for a second, re-hooked to the body, and came back up top. And that confused him. That's why his hands weren't up, and it knocked his mouthpiece out. And that was just because when I paused, he didn't put his when I paused, his hands didn't come down from that body shot. So I just went to the body shot, and I just noticed that.
And I'm assuming because he thought you were probably coming right back up top after.
Yeah, he thought I was going to come back to the head, because I've been going body to the left hook, left lead hook, followed with the right hand, and I was hitting it so much in that fight. So I was like, this is the combination. Just keep throwing it. I hit it over and over, body hook or body straight. So he probably thought I was coming back up top. So I went body, paused, body, and came back.
Yeah,
smart.
We got
just something I'm catching on to. I'm developing my striking a little more, and now I'm gonna work on some things when I can get back in the gym. I want to try and improve. No one's helped my striking. I don't hit pads with anybody. I don't do anything. So
wow.
Yeah, I have no striking
pads at all.
I do not have a striking coach.
Really?
It's all me. I just learn. I develop.
It's pretty damn good. I mean, I was gonna say we could get you on maybe, but no, you don't think you need.
And then you asked my wrestling started in high school. I wrestled for states. I almost got tech pinned, came fourth. Then I moved down here. I joined the Southeast Olympic Regional Center with JD Robbins, who's an Olympic coach. And I wrestled with him for like 4 years. Then I moved even further south, and now I'm with Steve Mako, who also, credentials out off the roof.
Okay.
So that's where all my wrestling comes from.
Yeah, you put it together very well. The last Mike Davis we saw was with Mason Jones, and your Instagram stories are a great source of, I guess, news for what's going on in your life. And I think in one of your stories, when you were answering questions, you said that you didn't watch film on Mason Jones until the day of the fight. Is that true?
Yep. It was like 2 days before the fight.
Why is that?
I never have. I feel like I train with every single diverse piece or person in the sport. I train with Renato Moicano, best grappler I've ever gone with. Dustin Poirier, he's the #1 lightweight in the world. Like, I train with these people all the time, so I'm not afraid of anyone they put in front of me. I'm fighting the #1 in my division already, every day. I'm not afraid of anyone else. So I don't need to study you. I don't care what you fight like, because I can give him business. I'm giving you business. I just know it's gonna be a hard fight for you.
Do you think, Mike, that stems from, because I've actually played college football, and I knew guys that did not like watching film as well. And I think, and correct me if this is you or not, but do you think that helps kind of, because you've seen such high level and top level guys and you've gone against them? Do you think it kind of saves you from trying to predict what they're going to do and really just naturally reacting to what they're doing?
Yep, it definitely, because if I study someone and I watch your film and and I notice that you throw this combination anytime this happens or so and so, I'll throw my combination and I'll expect that. So I'll be ready for that, what I've practiced, what I've learned. And then what if they don't do that anymore? That fight was 4 months ago. They don't do that same technique anymore. They switched it up. So you can't really predict from those fights. So
there's a rhythm
getting in there, and that's what helps me. The way that I can fight and react just based on how it's happening is what makes me a good fighter.
We've seen you train at I've watched some Anatomy of a Fighter, and you were at Fusion XL, and you've also been to American Top Team and Tiger Muay Thai, as we talked about. Do you have a place that you like to train at the most, or are you just getting as many looks as possible from a lot of guys?
Those are like my moves through life. I started at American Top Team in Longwood. Then I went to Pete White Boxing. Then I went to American Top Team Orlando. Then the Fusion. Then I moved south. Oh no. Then I went to Thailand, and then I moved south. And now I've been at American Top Team ever since. So I've been here for a year and a half, I believe. This is my home gym. American Top Team, my home gym.
Gotcha. I was gonna say, because when you have gone from one place to another, I didn't know if that was more stepping stones through your career, or if you just like taking each camp's knowledge and then taking it over to the next one and the next one. But if you've landed now at American Top Team, what's probably been the most outside of Top Team? What's been the most influential camp you've been in?
Fusion XL in Orlando. They're definitely the #1 gym in the higher end of Florida, anywhere from like the middle up.
Okay.
With, Julian Williams?
Yeah, Julian Williams.
Is it because of him?
I would say so. When I met Julian Williams, I have never felt grappling like his before, ever. So well, it was amazing. And I mean, like, as you can see, an ADCC champ chose him as a coach, and Jacare chose him as a coach. They're two of the best grapplers in the UFC, or they were well known for being grapplers.
Well, yeah, I mean, Mike Perry's a pretty famous guy.
Mike Perry, he comes from there. He moved down here.
Yeah, he ended up like leaving that gym. Do you know why, or no?
Mike Perry went through some stuff and then just vanished.
Yeah, he's a different kind of cat. Yeah, you mentioned that, but I mean, I hear a lot of people talk very well about Julian Williams and the kind of coach he is, and then when you have guys like Jacare and Rodolfo Vieira, yourself for a time being, yeah, I'm sure that's a great place to be at in Florida, especially the nice weather, man. You have no interest in coming to Missouri training at Glory MMA?
I've never heard of it. I never look to explore. I'm just a very simple person.
Okay, well, that was my one try. So
that was his one recruiting shot. He just wanted you to come see what you could do with James Krause.
I have never once typed Missouri into my computer.
God damn, Mike.
It's okay. I will say this: you're not missing a whole lot, Mike.
Mike, Dana White just had some new news, and it was that, we're going to have fans back at some UFC events. Does that make you excited?
I'm sorry?
Does that make you excited?
Oh, yeah. It's a lot better to fight with fans. Just the rush, the feel. You land a combination, and then the crowd goes nuts, and you can hear it, and you're like, yeah, I got you. Cool. You keep going. You get that kind of like adrenaline boost.
So that's what's been the most interesting thing to me during this whole crazy fucking year we've had, is the fact that as a spectator, when you don't have the fans there, you can hear every little thing. You can hear every punch, every kick. You can hear the cornermen talking. You can hear the announcers. As a fighter, one, obviously you fought without fans and with fans. I'm assuming I already know the answer to the question. The fans is what you'd rather fight for, but how much different is it fighting without fans?
In Fight Island too.
No, it's not much different.
It's not much different?
Not really. The only thing you're missing is that loud chanting.
That rush.
Yeah. Other than that, it's the same exact feeling. And it might even be a little better because now I don't listen to my corners. I hear them. I hear them. And when a situation comes that I need to listen to them, I do. But the majority of the time, I'm listening to my opponent's corner.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I want to know what they want him to do, so I can counter off of that, because that's in the moment. That's something that is going to happen and hasn't happened before.
So true.
Yeah.
Well, we've heard certain fighters say, when you get commentators like Daniel Cormier and what's his name?
Bisping.
Michael Bisping. Yeah, I don't know why. I was about to say Chandler. I've heard other fighters say that they've listened to the commentators before and said, hey, it's funny because when you have guys like that who are commentating, who are top level guys, they've listened to them because they can hear them from the side.
I've never heard the commentators talk ever.
Really?
Never. Like Paul Felder and DC, I've never heard their voices in the fight. When I come out of the cage, they always find me and they're like, Mike, oh my God, oh, amazing fight. And I see them and I was like, oh, thanks.
Like, I didn't even know you guys were here.
Yeah, you posted that John Anik side view of your Mason Jones fight. Was that cool to see that from John Anik?
Yeah, that's so cool.
He's maybe the best commentator in the UFC. I think not color commentary, but actual leading the dance kind of thing.
Play-by-play guy.
Play-by-play.
I'm not a fan of how that last fight was commentated. I don't know why they were riding Mason Jones so much. I have no idea. They were talking this man up to like he was about to be Conor McGregor.
He's very hyped up. He's a very...
He has the same credentials, yeah. Him and Conor McGregor pretty much had the same background. But no. Me and Dustin have the same background, and me and Dustin beat you and Conor. So
yeah, I think a lot of it comes from the aura of he's undefeated. You know what I mean? They always want to keep that storyline going or whatever. But Mason Jones came out after the fight when they interviewed him, and he said, and I don't know if you listened to his interview at all, or even if you even gave a damn, but he said, oh no, that fight was stupid. I'm a better fighter than Mike Davis. He had a bad game plan. And I was like, well, the game plan beat you. So when you hear comments like that, does that mean anything to you? Do you even give a damn? You ended up winning ultimately. So
yeah, I beat you. And it wasn't close. It was unanimous.
Yeah.
I don't care what you have to say.
Do you think, now that being said, do you think you'll see Mason Jones again?
Oh yeah, he's freaking amazing. He's such a good fighter. I think that he'll walk through a lot of division. Once he starts putting that pressure on anyone else, they're just gonna crumble. Because that was a lot of pressure. I was trying to keep my cardio going, but the trip to Abu Dhabi, we had specific plans we had to follow while we got on the flight, and I didn't follow any of it. So I just never slept at all. And I slept, I think, 7 hours my entire week and a half in Abu Dhabi, 7 total hours. So I did not sleep at all. I was so much mentally tired, physically tired, and it was hot. So my cardio looked terrible, but I ran 10 miles right before getting to Abu Dhabi in Vegas, and I felt beautiful. I didn't feel tired whatsoever. I probably could have done another 10 miles.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, your last opponent, Mason Jones, just got signed today to fight Alan Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick.
You saw that? Yeah. So, you think? What do you think about that fight? Any love for your former opponent, or you just don't give a shit? I mean,
I hate to say it because Alan Patrick did train at Fusion, but yeah, Mason Jones is going to win that fight.
Okay, and then I like it. Let's talk about the Vegeta tattoo. I mean, you got a couple of them on you. Is that your favorite anime? Do you
not my favorite.
Not your favorite. What's your favorite?
My favorite anime, probably 7 Deadly Sins and Demon Slayer.
Man, I mean,
I like the boar from the little boar dude from Demon Slayer. I always forget his name, but
I mean, I'm a newbie to the anime game, so I'm currently watching Attack on Titan. So
of course, yeah.
That's so funny that's funny that you say that, because I literally just started that like last week. I am not an anime guy. I mean, I grew up watching like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh. I mean, those are technically animes, I guess, but I was never a big anime guy. But I did start Attack on Titan the other day, so I'll have to venture down this road.
Yeah, but yeah, I like the tattoos. Dragon Ball Z is great, and you have like
the Majin symbol on my neck,
the Majin symbol on your neck, and the Vegeta. So I mean, it's worth talking about.
What sparked
I'm sorry.
I said, what sparked it? What made you get Vegeta tattooed on your body? Because I mean, you know, people get tattoos. Tattoos are permanent forever. I got tattoos, but what made you get Vegeta?
Vegeta is one of the people who is just like following number one, which is Goku. So he's always watching Goku improve, and Goku is just always above him. So it was interesting to watch how he would see Goku do this, and then he'd be like, I have to do it too. So he would train as hard as he could until he got it. And I like that aspect. Then when he went into the like Majin form, where he unlocked his potential and his true power, that was where I want to be. Like full control of the mind, which was Master Babidi's main thing. He's a mind control. So
yeah, I mean, I like Lord Frieza a lot, so that's my guy.
Who?
Lord Frieza.
Okay, Frieza.
They cheated when he was in gold form, and yeah, Whis, whatever his name is, the time traveling guy.
But he did great in gold form.
He was great in gold form. 7 forms, you know.
Yeah,
it's a lot of forms.
Yeah, he definitely such a good move. Dragon Ball Super, that was so good. That was perfect.
Yeah, we'll have to.
Jiren, man, they really amped him up. It was so good.
Dragon Ball Z is great, so that's why I really respect the tattoos. Bottom line.
Yeah, so Dragon Ball Z was probably what I started with as an anime. That or Yu Yu Hakusho is my first anime, and then I went to DBZ, of course. And then I mean, I've watched everything. I've watched Naruto almost all the way through, not completely. I
mean, it's
One Piece, which has 1,000 episodes. I'm at like 800 something. Still trying to find time or ways to finish it. And I've watched everything. Fairy Tail, 500 something episodes. Watched them. Really got into all these.
Yeah, I'm on like 300 of One Piece. I'm like, I can't stop now. I have to
keep.
Yeah,
you can't.
It
gets so good. It gets way better.
That's all I hear every day. It gets better. It gets better.
Oh, so much better.
Like, so is there any moves that you see, especially coming from Dragon Ball Z, that you're like, I'm gonna perfect that move, or that you may have already kind of taken from that?
I've tried to do techniques that people do in anime.
Oh yeah, I mean it's genius. So,
Blake, why not?
Any final questions for our guy Mike Davis here?
Yeah, of course. Duh, I got 2 main ones. Yeah. One is a serious one, and then one is for fun. As far as like getting into MMA, getting into mixed martial arts, you wrestled in high school. What was kind of your influence to start fighting, and what made you really get into the fight game in general?
I started fighting because I was being bullied. I started boxing as a way to say I know how to box, but never fight. Because whenever someone would get like confrontational, I would feel this like rush through my body where it's telling me to like leave. Like my body was telling me to leave. So every time, it doesn't matter what it was, a woman could yell at me and my body would just start like freaking out. So I took boxing. I started training boxing. Then when I did wrestling, I was still in high school. My mother introduced me to her coworker, Dave, who did MMA at a warehouse. And when I went there, I was training. I loved it. We were watching YouTube how to do arm bars and triangles and stuff. And we would try them on each other. And then we would practice them, learn the move. And then we actually like really try to wrestle and get it. And that was the way I learned. But one day, I was like, I think I was 16. My best friends, they wanted me to come over to spend the night, drink, and smoke that synthetic weed.
Like K2?
Salvia or something?
Oh, sativa? Or, I mean, that's salvia, my bad.
Something. But it made them hallucinate. So I was getting like videos of them, and my friends were crying, saying their hair was on fire. And they said, you need to come over here and help us. But I didn't want to go over there because I wanted to train MMA. I loved it so much. I went to the gym to train. And they ended up getting someone else to come over who drove a car around where they were robbing people. And they robbed some guy at gunpoint and got 8 years in prison. And I did not, because I did MMA.
Because you're doing
training. So after that, I was like, I think this just saved my life. So I had to give back and tried to see what I can do with it. And I never thought I'd be in the UFC. I always said, I first saw a UFC fight, it was Chuck Liddell. I don't remember who he fought, but it was Chuck Liddell. And it was the first MMA fight I ever saw in the UFC. And I was like, man, it would be cool to get there, fight in that big stage. But I never thought I would until my second pro fight, after my second pro fight, where nobody in the country would fight me. They called everyone to fight me, any and everyone, and no one would fight me. So they had to start paying people to fight me, like overpaying people to fight me. And then I got some fights in under Island Fights, and then like only two fights in on Island Fights, and then they got a call to the UFC to fight Sadiq, and I lost.
Yeah, I mean, you got the who's who off the bat, man. And you
said, I got
the who's who, two biggest names coming up off the bat. Yeah, but it's fun.
Well, that is crazy that MMA really did essentially save your life, and now look at you. Now you're up with the big league.
I think they've only been out for 3, maybe 4 years. So all that time in my life, man, this is nuts. It's nuts. I don't even know how or what I could be doing right now. I'm 28, so I would be 28, and I wouldn't have any of the credentials I have. I wouldn't have fought MMA. I wouldn't have become a pro. So I'd probably be working at a restaurant.
It's a crazy story. Yeah.
Well, Mike, last question, and our Zoom's going to run out here. So you might be the first UFC fighter to ever get a trip to space, and let alone circle the moon. If there was one fighter who does not currently fight in the UFC, or maybe he does, who would you like to fight in space?
Someone to fight in space?
0G.
Or maybe it's an anime character.
To fight. I would fight Goku. Yeah. You have to say Goku.
Yeah, he's the best. Best of the best.
If you can even if I just fight Goku, Goku's a more understanding person. He probably wouldn't kill me. So then I can come back and say, hey, I fought Goku and lived. So
hell yeah.
That's a great answer.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Man, Mike, it was awesome talking to you.
Yeah, this is fun.
your career trajectory, I know me and Blake, we think that you are a big, you have a really big future in the sport. I know you were emotional after your last fight, but man, like the sky's the limit for you. We love watching you fight. We're fans, so we appreciate it, dude.
I think I'm looking to shoot for International Fight Week.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be healed and hopefully have trained enough to fight then. So that's when I'm looking at my next one. I'm looking at 3 more this year.
You heard it.
It's going to be July, October, or December.
All right. Mike Davis, everyone. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
We appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for coming on. We'd love to have you on again later down the road, and just good luck with everything you got going on, brother.
You guys are trying to get me on. I've just been, these surgeries have been taking my time.
Hey,
I'm just like so depressed that I don't want to talk to anybody, so I've been avoiding a lot of people.
You're good, man. Thanks for getting back. That's
hopefully this was worth it for you. So
yeah, no, this
we know it was for us. That's for sure.
We're better.
All right, Mike. Hey, take it easy. Rest up. Get that hand better.
You as well. Take care, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, brother.